What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 72 of the Sorta Interesting podcast, and welcome back to Monster Months, where we are reviewing monster movies throughout the months of October and November, leading up to our holiday movie reviews in December. And thanks for coming out tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and I appreciate that. My name's Christian Patam. With me, as always, is the underground clown, the man who goes up and down, Myles, darling. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Saturday night.
We have a new president? How about
Saturday
that?
the 14th.
How about last time we did the podcast? Voting was already over. It's been over for like a couple days, but we just had no president yet, or we didn't have a new president yet. So finally got that days after, and congrats to our new president-elect. Joseph, didn't know this was his middle name, Robinette Biden.
Robinette Biden Jr.
Oh, yeah, and he's a junior. And Myles, quickly, go ahead.
Oh, real
What's
quick.
going on? Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, it's crazy that this guy, an unprecedented 5 victories in 1 week. How does that happen? Only Joe Biden.
Dude, and with the most votes ever in history now? God damn, amazing. God.
One on Sunday.
Flipping states.
We all heard it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Guess what? He won again. It's crazy. You know?
And Myles just sending a gif of Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
I was in the grocery store. I was like, what the fuck? What happened with? I thought something happened with the Angels or something with the Eagles. I was like, I don't understand what's going on, because nobody gives a fuck at the grocery store. And then I checked the news when I got home. I was like, oh,
that was when Carson Wentz gave him a game ball.
Fucking did it, man. God, and life's been great ever since. I've been having a great time this week. I'm having a good day today, Myles. Before we get into this movie here, I want to have a little side podcast with you, okay, buddy? Okay. I want to give people a little taste of what they can get if they do donate to our Patreon. We're gonna have a little podcast within a podcast here. I want to talk to you quickly about a new show that I've been watching on Netflix. Okay, it's a show that I think would be right up your alley, right? Because you're a manly man. You know what I'm saying? You work with your hands. You fucking got all the tools and shit. You're everything that I'm not.
I already know what you're gonna say. Queen's Gambit.
No, I hadn't
started watching it.
Oh, I haven't seen that. No, I haven't watched it, but I heard it's good. But there is a show called Forged in Fire. I don't know if you've heard of this or watched it. Have you seen it?
Bro, I used to watch this.
Dude, I was like, this is fucking right up Myles' alley.
With Aaron, of all people.
Really? Okay, good.
Aaron Francis.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, Netflix. I just found it on accident because Netflix had it on their front page, and you know, sometimes they just play like random trailers or previews for these shows. So, I read the description of it, and it said something about people making weapons or something, and I was like, oh, like at first I thought, oh, people are making like guns, like putting together guns. That would be cool for a competition. And then I turned it on, and I was like, oh no, these people are making fucking knives and swords from scratch.
Metal.
Yes, from fucking scratch. And I was instantly enthralled. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy. And they get so specific about metals and fucking heat and different kinds of like
tension and
like different kinds of techniques that they're making these weapons. And I'm like,
you learn how they make Damascus.
Yeah, dude, Damascus. That's what I was about to say. How the guy was like folding it over and over, and it makes like a cool design. I'm like, oh, this is like Great British Baking Show, but with fucking weapons. I'm like, this is amazing. This is so cool. And they, I just like how they go through the process of the like initial shaping of the metal, and then they show like the people fucking it up and getting their metal too hot in the forge, and it's just fucking snapping off and breaking off when they try to, And the guy, there's like one episode where the guy like heats it up and then he breaks it on purpose, and he's like looking at like the little insides to see how it's made up. And I'm like, dude, this is so fucking, it's so crazy to see how people are hooked on this like little specific niche thing. Like, and the quenching is such a huge deal where the judges, they're like, he's got to get in the quench. There's not enough time. He's got to quench it right now. And then they show the guy like putting in the water all in slow motion with the smoke. I'm like, yo, I don't know.
There's so much that goes into it. You got to heat it to like a certain amount. The higher you get it,
and like the different metals are like heating up. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
You shock it by quenching it, and
I guess it makes
freezes
it harder, right?
In place.
Yeah,
it makes it harder.
Oh man, it's so interesting. Yeah, I like in that show how the quench is that big deal. It's like he's going for the quench. There he goes, Brian with the quench. Here he goes. And then I like the judging is so fucking cool. How they test the functionality. They're like they put like the fucking racks of ribs out, and the guy's like fucking and he's going all out, dude. I fucking love how all out these guys go. They're fucking just full swings.
Jumps on it afterwards, just rips it open.
And then like the durability tests are so good too. How sometimes if they break off, they gotta weld it back together, and they're like, "Fuck, man, I don't know if this is gonna hold. I hope it holds." And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't, man. But goddamn, I'm fucking hooked on this show, dude. It's so good because like blacksmithing, one of the oldest professions ever. So I was like, how are they gonna make this interesting? They did, man. It's so good. They just took that Great British Baking Show like layout, and they just, hey, you're gonna make swords and knives instead of cakes and fucking bread and shit, you know. So
yep. You know what's funny is like when I play that show or when I watch that show,
yeah,
I don't know what it is about it, but I just remember being, what would my character in Fable like use or get forged or some shit? I don't know why, but it's like I want to do that. And just make Fable weapons. I don't know.
That's the best part, right? At the end, where the last two guys are there, and they're like, "Hey, you got to make this weapon from like ancient Sparta or whatever." It's like a fucking, you got to make like a spear or like a massive.
You got to wait to do it at home.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I like that a lot. And they're always fucking it up. They're like, this metal's too hard. I can't fucking do this shit.
Or you get those guys that get out early, and then they're like, and you're like, all right, something's gonna fuck up here. There's no way this guy's coasting this well.
Love that shit, man. It's so
the reality sets in about it. The reality show aspect of it sets in
and
there.
It's just like the little things that are like, the handle is too, it hurts my hand when I try to handle it, and
it doesn't grip well. Yeah,
the judges, they're just just like going hard at it, man. I fucking love it. It's so good.
They won't even touch it if there's like a any inkling that it's like bad or fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
they don't want to hurt themselves. Yeah,
safety.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not gonna this fucking thing.
I remember there was like one guy who like he had like a knife, and he was like trying to like test it against a skull of like a moose or something. Yeah, and he came back like the next scene with like his hand all wrapped up. He's like, "You see this? You see what your fucking knife did to me? You're fucking out of here, man. I can't have this. You hurt the judge. You're out." But man, I'm fucking livelihood. I'm so hooked. The second I like saw it was like metals and shit, I was like, "Oh, this is right up Miles' alley." I hope. I don't know if you've seen it or anything, but I'm glad you've seen it.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It makes me want to like have a home forge.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, how the fuck do these people afford this shit? This shit is fucking crazy. They got a whole thing, and their neighbors must fucking hate them because they are constantly just bashing metal all day. I'd be like, oh my god, what a nightmare. A lot of
people are like large, like Midwest, where they got like large open spaces, so they can be loud like that, you know, and not worry about their neighbors too much. But you know, here I'm having an apartment. I would love to do it, but it just wouldn't be. It would be fun though. I'd make knives for people for Christmas and shit.
Highly recommended to anybody who's just browsing Netflix. I had nothing to watch. I was like, I'll just give this a shot, and then instantly hooked. But also got another thing here, a bit of movie news. I don't know if you heard about this, but Johnny Depp out of the Fantastic Beasts series, which is a huge disappointment, man. He was arguably probably the coolest part of that series. Definitely the character I was most looking forward to seeing, more especially with him and Jude Law being, you know, lovers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that sucks that Johnny Depp's out. But I guess he's getting paid his full fucking 8-figure salary for doing nothing, absolutely nothing.
Like $10 million or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think 8 figures, which is crazy. It's not just millions; it's fucking like tens of hundreds of millions. Yeah, it's pretty insane, man. But in the running, I don't know if you heard about this. Mads Mikkelsen might replace him, which
interesting.
I would be fucking hyped for that. I love Mads Mikkelsen, and he's such a good villain in that Casino Royale, man. He's one of the best villains ever to grace the screen. So to see him
I love him. He plays such a good villain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Imagine him as Grindelwald doing magic, making out with Jude Law. Are you kidding me? That would be amazing.
Dude, that would be I could totally. You know what's funny is like there's those actors that you're like, yeah, I could see him making out with another guy.
Oh yeah.
And I could totally see Matt. I never thought about it until you said it, but then now I can picture it with no problem.
Imagine Mads and Jude locking lips on the big screen. I could only hope. But he's only.
I would love to lock lips with Jude.
Oh yeah, Jude, especially when he has that freaking mustache going. Oh,
when he got a hat going and he's in a nice
He looks amazing in that movie.
He just looks a little to the side a little bit, get that.
But that's the shitty part, man. I don't like anything else in that series except for those two characters. So it's like, I have no interest in seeing this movie without those two people. I don't give a fuck about Newt Scamander. That guy could fucking die. I fucking hate him. He sucks.
I give a fuck about who Newt's fucking. Okay.
And the guy from Balls of Fury is still in there, I guess. I don't even know his name. Dan Fogler, I think.
Randy Daytona.
Okay.
You come over banana boat.
Come over banana boat. So I think they're still slated to come out 2021, I believe. So I don't know what that's going to do production-wise, but I hope Mads Mikkelsen does sign up for that. But it kind of sucks if you're Mads, seeing how much Johnny Depp is being paid. You're like, there's no fucking way they're going to give me that. I'm pretty much just going to be the last resort for them.
Yeah, that's true. Because then you're like, you look at that, you're like, well, he got paid that much. He's not even...
For doing nothing. Yeah. So that's like, how much budget did they have to fucking pay? Hats off to his manager or his agent or whoever negotiated that deal. Doesn't have to do a single day of work, but still gets paid his fucking full amount. That's a fucking deal. That's worth paying your manager a percentage of that.
I'm sure that it's something along the lines of, him being in the industry for so long, he's made a name for himself, and that any clause, in probably his contracts since I don't know 2000, since Pirates of the Caribbean, it's probably been a clause in there where he's like, oh, if anything happens, this amount, I still get. Like how Samuel Jackson, because he's been in so many movies, he's like that retainer.
Yeah, they're going to him for the role. He's not asking people for the role; they're asking him for the role. So it's like you're under my terms. Yeah, that's fucking baller.
Samuel Jackson in his contracts, he always has a clause in there that says, during filming, the company or the production company has to pay for a golfing trip that he leaves while they're filming for a week, and then and that's paid vacation.
That's fucking baller status, man. Where you could just demand things, and they're like, I guess, what are we gonna do? It's fucking Samuel Jackson. We have to.
I'd be like, fuck, dude, can I go with you? I'm a director, but I'll go with you.
Especially MCU. I'm sure he's golfing with all those with the whole Avengers cast. They all look like golfers. Ah, man.
Yeah, they could dress like them too.
But that is a little taste of what you could get if you do donate to our Patreon. Myles, give them the plugs of where they could find our podcast, please.
SortaInteresting.com. That's where you can find this podcast and that podcast in the future.
See, if you donate, we keep going with that. We could have a whole hour of that, just us spitballing, talking about news, talking about just bullshitting. You know what I'm saying?
Bullshit.
Anything we want.
We got our whole back catalog of podcasts from the past, all of our old series. Monster Months are still going.
Coming to an end soon. Next week's gonna be the last movie.
So. We got all this entire series in there. And you can also find us where else? Spotify, iOS podcast app, Google Play Store. We got
go ahead and rate us 5 stars on the iOS podcast app, please. We're already 5 stars, so thank God. Thank you to whoever rated us there. Also have a YouTube channel. Just go ahead and search Sorta Interesting in YouTube. Don't have a URL for that yet, but all of our Monster Month videos are up on there. So go ahead and enjoy.
Yeah, this was the inaugural video series that
it's been a lot of fun to do too. So it's been the best series to put on YouTube so far. Doing well. So also patreon.com/sortainteresting. You could donate at the $1 level. You could help us create more content like the content you just heard, where we just spitball, maybe create a new podcast just doing that primarily. So that would be fun to do. Myles, let's get into some production details here. Release date, July 12th, 2002. You were only 9 years old when this movie came out. How about that?
Tell me how old I was. I know how old I
was. Writer Greg Chabot. This is the only movie he's ever written, which is crazy. Director Rob Bowman, known for Elektra with Jennifer Gardner, which is hands down hands down the worst superhero movie I've ever fucking seen. I remember watching this movie.
Have you seen Catwoman?
Oh, okay. I actually watched Catwoman a couple weeks ago. Not as bad as Elektra. Elektra is actually worse than that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Right. I remember watching this with my uncle at that casino at the state line of Nevada and California. You know what I'm talking about?
Buffalo Bills, right?
Dude, yeah, Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we used to stop there every time whenever we went to go Vegas because we have family down there. So they have like the best arcade. They used to have the best arcade. I don't know about that anymore, but they have a movie theater, and it was just me and him in that movie theater watching this shitty movie. It was terrible. Budget $60 million. Box office a measly $82 million. What a flop that was. Runtime a very brisk and breezy 1 hour and 41 minutes. Just very little fat on this movie, and I love it for that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I felt like we got to
it's very short. I like that.
Third act very quickly, you know?
Yeah, I feel like maybe there's 15-20 minutes of credits, so that would be an hour and 20 minutes. Not even, well, I think for a movie to be considered a feature-length movie, it has to be an hour and 30 minutes. So I think it's like right at that cutoff point. So
it's got to be, yeah.
Yeah. Miles, what were your initial thoughts of Reign of Fire? Before we get into
all right, so this is really
this is your first time, right?
Time watching it from start to finish.
Pop in your Reign of Fire cherry.
It's you went in there and you just
hot.
Popped it.
Just hot.
You got the finger curl in there, you know? And it was, man, because when
were you expecting this movie? First of all,
I was not. No, I was not.
I on purpose. I told you nothing about the plot on purpose. I just told you there's dragons. That's all I told you. So
you did tell me dragons, and I expected it from Monster Month. You had to.
Yeah.
And I remember watching clips of this movie. Just the only part I remember when I was little, or not little, well, a few years ago, watching it was the very beginning. And that's it.
Really?
Just
That's it. That's the worst part of the movie. That's the only thing I've seen. Wow.
That's probably why I just tuned it out.
Yeah, that part sucks.
So now come full circle, and here we are. It's a good movie. I like it. It's not a lot of fat.
It's a sleeper of a movie. Yeah.
It is. Especially with who's in it. Because of who's in it. Yeah. And
well, you have to remember the time. It's 2004. You know what I'm saying?
2004, 2002.
Oh shit! What was it? 2002. Sorry. Yeah, even worse. 2002. So, I mean, what?
Like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. You think Mad Max. You think like movies. It's been there, done that kind of. And with dragons, you think it's so out of this realm. That's probably why it didn't connect with people. That's why the box office probably did poorly.
Oh yeah, a huge flop.
They just think so much. Like they're like, oh, dragons. No, that's too much now. If I don't know. It was a sleeper. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was over before we knew it. We had some big names in there. What more could you ask for? Fire. It was fire. It was dragons.
I remember seeing this trailer for this movie before it came out, and I remember the very last shot of that trailer was Matthew McConaughey fucking flying tours the camera with that massive axe, and I immediately thought, I was like, I need to watch this opening night.
Give anything away.
I need, we'll get into that. No spoilers, but I remember telling my dad, we need to watch this opening night. We're gonna go fucking watch that, and that's what we did. And not only do I remember watching that trailer, but I remember the trailers during that movie. I remember seeing the trailer for The Exorcist Begins when that movie came out, and I was scared as shit. And my dad was like, what the fuck? You're scared of this movie? Are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, Dad, I'm 9 years old, okay? Do you not know that The Exorcist is like one of the scariest movies ever? So yeah, I'm fucking terrified right now. But that movie, Exorcist Begins, actually has the woman also in this movie. What's her name? The lead female in this. She also starred in that. But yeah, goddamn, man, this movie. Yeah, she was also in Exorcist Begins. So 2002, big year for her. But goddamn, man, this movie holds the fuck up after 20 years.
Holds the fuck up.
Yes, the CGI is a little rough, but I think they did a good job making the dragons.
720p, you're fine.
Yeah, 720p, right. It doesn't even matter.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
They did a good job of making the dragons so dark that you can't even see the little details, but they still look menacing. You know, you could see the shape of the wings when they're up and they look all torn up and shit. You could see the teeth and the mouth and the face and stuff, but I think they did a good job of just covering up the bad CG for that time.
Yeah.
I think this movie is just so underappreciated, you know, underrated for the story and the performances of these actors alone. You know, I think it was also a little ahead of its time. You know, if these actors were in major hits before this movie, I think it would have attracted more eyeballs for sure and would have done better at the box office. Because I mean, if I bet like
who was the biggest hitter?
I think the biggest star at that time was Matthew McConaughey. Like, he was top billing for this movie. So, and I bet like 95% of the people watching this podcast or listening to this podcast have never even heard of this movie. You know, it's just flown under the radar for so long.
I one of them.
I know, right? Did you? Yeah. But you knew about it, but you just never even seen it, right? So, but it is crazy to think when this movie came out, all these A-list stars that we know today were absolutely nothing in 2002, right? So we had Bale, who was an American Psycho before this movie, but that's it. Like, that didn't put him over the top yet. I think Batman Begins is the one that actually put him into stardom in Hollywood. And then Matthew McConaughey was in fucking Wedding Planner before this movie, so it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Wow.
Nobody knows who Matthew McConaughey is, but he still had top billing. And then Gerard Butler was in basically nothing at that time. He was in a movie called Dracula 2000, so I rest my case on that.
Wow.
But it's insane to see how all of these guys just blew up with their careers, and it's just really neat to see them all now.
Did a little read on Isabella, though, and she was a former Swedish model.
Oh,
born in Poland,
nice.
Of Polish descent.
It's a cutie, I like that.
Yeah, she was a model. Okay.
My final thought here, I just love how straightforward the story is. You know what I'm saying? No fat, no need for all this science explanation and running around with these different characters like, you know, Pacific Rim.
Yeah, they got into how it happened.
Exactly.
And then there's it's like, all right, it's that. Take it for face value. They don't need to add any sprinkle other shit in here, you know?
All they said was, hey, these dragons, these are the problem. We take down the male, we take down the species, they die off. That's it.
Yep.
Our journey there is what makes this movie. So this journey, let me tell you what, strap the fuck in, because we're in for a goddamn ride with this plot rundown, baby. Here we go. You ready for this plot rundown, Myles? Here we go.
I am. I'm down.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand our past, because you will decide our future, and only one species is getting out of this alive. Movie opens up with a young boy named Quinn Abercrombie. That's his last name, Abercrombie. He's visiting his mother on a construction site in an underground tunnel. One of the construction workers says they've hit a hole and asks Quinn to crawl into the hole to take a look. He makes his way inside and finds a dragon that has been awakened. The dragon spits out some sort of chemical into Quinn's face. And then Quinn and his mother try to escape on a lift, but the dragon escapes first, killing Quinn's mother in the process. This whole opening,
something was going to come of that.
It was weird, this whole opening. They were talking about like Quinn smoking cigarettes and shit. I'm like, this guy's like 12 years old. What do you...
and his eyes, I thought he was going to turn into a dragon or something.
Yeah, his eyes were like super red after, and it was it was a crappy opening. I didn't really like
son, did you just smoke the marijuana?
Are you smoking the devil's lettuce, son? And then they all have like a super thick, like, all right, Quinn, like the way they called him, Quinn. I heard from that school, did you? And then I like how just quick they just get right into it. It is now present day, and we hear the voice of the one and only Batman, ladies and gentlemen, Christian fucking Bale, and he's recounting what has happened over the years. He tells us that millions of dragons have now spawned and have swarmed the planet like locusts, and they're driven by one purpose: to feed. He says scientists discovered this ancient species is what turned the dinosaurs to dust, whose ash brought on the Ice Age. The dragons have decimated everything and are starving and are more dangerous than ever. We cut to Quinn confronting a man named Eddie who wants to go harvesting for food. But Quinn tells him the crops need to ripen to germinate, get more plants to grow, but Eddie says, shut your fucking mouth, we're all starving to death. And then Quinn takes the keys out of Eddie's hands, and he says, give me back them keys. And Quinn says, you bloody take them from me. In his pre-Batman voice. You bloody take them from me. Now we're introduced to Creedy, Quinn's best mate, played by Gerard Butler, who backs Quinn up and tells Eddie if he leaves, he won't be coming back. And then back in the castle, Quinn and Creedy are having a little story time with the children, reenacting the fight between Vader and Luke when The Empire Strikes Back. I just love that whole scene where there's like a part where they're fighting and he cuts off the hand of Gerard Butler, and then the kids are like, "Oh, what the?" And he's like, "I'm good." He like puts out his hand. He's like, "I'm good, guys. Don't worry about it." And then they have themselves a little group prayer, and they say, "What do we do when we wake? Keep both eyes open on the sky. What do we do when we sleep? Keep one eye on the sky. What do we do when we see them? Dig hard, dig deep, run for shelter, and never look back." Yeah. It's not really a prayer at all. No, it's more like a PSA.
It's more like stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah. It's like one of those like G.I. Joe PSAs. G.I. Joe. That's pretty much Quinn. That's Quinn at the end of this when they attack. Just get the fuck out of here.
What are you fucking doing?
Dude, it's perfect. That fucking fire really is perfect for this movie. Oh my god. It's the best one and it fits this movie so perfectly.
It's a PSA.
Get the fuck out of here. And then Eddie wakes up in the middle of the night and tells his kids that he's taking the keys from Quinn, and they grab the others to harvest in a pickup truck. It is now early morning and the lookout bird starts making noise, and the lookout guy scans the horizon for trouble. We're cutting back and forth a lot in this scene here. We cut back to Eddie and his family now in the gardens harvesting whatever they can. Cut back to the castle where the lookout uses his scope and tells AJ to ring the alarm. And Quinn hears the makeshift Morse code alarm mechanism thing going off, and the whole castle immediately knows what to do. All the children are gathered to take cover. And one of Eddie's son's girlfriend snitches and tells Quinn they are out in the fields. And then Eddie and his family are picking veggies out when they see a bird fly over a ridge, and then it immediately turns back. And I just love this whole build-up of this first encounter with the dragon, how it's just dead silent, but you could just hear the rocks falling from the little canyon there, which is cool. And then we finally see the dragon scorch the crops and eats up one of the dudes.
Yeah, the dude was just standing there and like,
yeah, he's like, this guy looked like a fucking Jedi. He had like his hood over. He's like, go get Eddie. I'm like, who is this guy? Is he like a famous guy or something?
And he just gets fucking. Yeah, I was like,
he doesn't even try to run. He's like, all right, I guess it's over.
Important.
And then Eddie gathers the rest of his family up, and right when it looks like it's all over for them, Quinn and Creedy are there in cool fire retardant suits to rescue them. And the dragon gives chase and absolutely destroys one of the sons who's manning the water cannon, and
it's on fire more.
The guy's like, just running around. Yeah. He was fucking barbecued. But they are able to escape while the dragon feasts off the ash in the field. Then back at the castle, Creedy and Quinn are having a bit of a nightcap, and Quinn tells Creedy maybe Eddie is right and thinks maybe there won't ever be another harvest again. We see Quinn start to lose faith in what they're doing. Cut to some time later, AJ is listening to a CB radio when he starts to hear a strange voice over the air and tells the lookout to use the scope and to check it out. He says, "Forget the bird and use the scope, you wanker!" And then Barlow sees tanks incoming and rings the alarm. Quinn gathers the troops and arms them with rifles, but no goddamn bows to shoot with. And then Creedy says, "There's only one thing worse than dragons. Americans." And I said, how dare you? How dare you? But he's not wrong, especially these past 4 years of this fucking goddamn presidency. It's
been a long definitely not 10 wrong. Years.
The tanks stop at the front gate and we're introduced.
What about when he's like, did we get to that?
I'm about to get to it right now.
Oh, so thank God.
Yeah, the tanks stop at the front gate and we're introduced to, in my opinion, one of the most badass looking characters. This is the coolest that Matthew McConaughey has ever looked in his whole life. One of the most, he was the most badass looking characters ever. The best part of this movie, hands down the best part of this movie. And I still remember telling my dad after watching this movie, I said, "Dad, I am a huge Matthew McConaughey fan now. I fucking love this guy. Who is he?" His name is Mr. Denton Van Zandt, played by Matthew McConaughey. We just got to talk about his fucking outfit, his whole look,
bro.
And he gets out of the tank and he's just like, he starts turning around. He's
his fucking
he's so ripped, dude. He's so jacked.
Nice.
He's got a bald head.
Cut off vest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he's got the bald head, which I've never seen Matthew McConaughey bald. This is the first time I noted. This is my first time ever seeing Matthew McConaughey. So when I saw him with hair for the first time, I was like, "Who the fuck? This is the same guy. This is the same guy from Reign of Fire. Looks nothing like how he looks today." He's got the shaved head, huge beard, looks amazing. He's got the fucking cut off jacket with the furry shit around his neck, and he's fucking so shredded. He looks awesome.
Dude, I would love to hang out with Matthew McConaughey.
He's such a cool guy.
As like a side, I just would love to dig into his mind from everything he's done. So great.
He looks like a fucking Street Fighter character, and I love it. He looks so jacked and ripped. And then Van Zandt steps out of the tank and asks who's in charge of this dump. And out comes Quinn, rifle in hand. Van Zandt introduces himself and calls his squad the Kentucky Irregulars. And then he tells Quinn they rebuilt an old helicopter and they need shelter and a place to refuel. Quinn calls bullshit on this and says, "There hasn't been anything in the air for the last 20 years. That's their territory." Then Van Zandt says, "No, that's my territory. That's your territory."
They're just leasing it.
They're just renting it. So every line out of his mouth in this movie is so fucking good. And then Quinn tells Van Zandt to turn around and go home. But Van Zandt isn't taking no for an answer. He tells Quinn, "Don't be a fool. We could do this easy. We could do it real easy." Then Van Zandt holds up a tooth attached to a necklace, which is, by the way, a very small tooth compared to the size of that dragon. I'm like, this is like a fucking dog's tooth.
That's their like intestine teeth.
Yeah, maybe it's their baby teeth. Maybe he caught a baby dragon back in the day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because a real dragon tooth, that'd be like the size of your fucking, like your femur. That shit would be huge. And he asks Quinn, you ever seen one of these? Not many men have. And he tells him he got the tooth of the first one he killed. And Quinn, of course, thinks this is bullshit again. Thinks him being a dragon killer is bullshit. Van Zandt tells him, it's in the wheat fields of Coffeyville, Kansas. It was late November. It was a month of mist. Twice they came in on us. Twice they missed the hard ones. That's when I had an epiphany. You say they have great vision in the day. Even better vision at night. The fainting light they can't focus. Magic hour. And then he hands Quinn the tooth. And then,
let's go to sleep right
now.
Oh
my god, dude. Van Zandt says, Coffeyville. It's etched in American history because the outlaw Dalton boys were killed there. Ordinary townsfolk rose up and took them down. Quinn asks, maybe they're the Dalton boys. And Quinn responds, no, the townsfolk. this whole exchange here between these two is so goddamn good. Just two of the best actors of our generation. The way McConaughey is just holding that tooth next to his face, and he's just staring deeply into Christian Bale's face, and he's just whispering this whole story to him, like Coffeyville, Kansas. And just his
there's somebody in the back. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they're like, I can't fucking. What are they saying? I can't. And then the guy's like, dude, he's telling the tooth story, bro. Just fucking wait for it, right? He's telling the tooth story, man. He's like, fuck, I love that story.
But he's never said it to me that
long. Oh, man. But yeah, him whispering all of his lines to Christian Bale is just so intriguing, and it's one of the best scenes in this whole movie for sure.
Just shout out to Matthew McConaughey's S's.
Yeah, his S's.
I don't know how it.
Coffeyville, Kansas. So like, it's such a little whistle.
Yeah, just a little.
Magic hour. Bang night they can't focus.
Makes it silky.
I have remembered that line since the day I watched that movie. That the fainting night they can't focus. I've been saying that for fucking my whole life, dude. I fucking love that shit. I mean, where am I at here? And then Quinn lets them in, and he tells Creedy Van Zandt is a dragon slayer, and then Creedy's like, he's a what? And then Christian Bale's like, he's a dragon slayer. And then which is such a dope ass phrase that we just don't use enough in our vocabulary. And then Quinn sees a helicopter for the first time in 20 years, which is a cool scene. And then Quinn is introduced to the pilot / cutie Alex Jensen, played by Isabella Scorupco. Also from GoldenEye. I don't know if you remember that. She was like the love interest. She was one of the Bond girls in GoldenEye.
Bond.
And then Quinn asks Alex who the crew behind her are, and she responds, Archangels. And her next response is 17 seconds. Once they jump from the chopper, that's their life expectancy. And I was like, fuck, that is such a dope-ass job. Losers. Archangel. Then Alex tells them that they are Bola Men, and Quinn tells Creedy Bola Men were used by gladiators to snare other men. And then Alex responds, not men, dragons. And I was like, dude, let's fucking go. This whole fucking, these little lines here, these little like tidbits are so fucking good. They just
get you so amped.
Yeah, right?
But with being so low, like they're not yelling.
Yeah, they're just like talking calmly, like, we're badasses.
And then they're cutting to the guys just standing there.
Oh my god, dude, that fucking scene. They're just standing there, and it's like the low shot on them. It's so fucking good, Myles.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And then back at the castle, the lookout bird starts making noise again, and the alarm is triggered. This time, Van Zandt is there and tells his men to get ready to rock and roll. We got a dragon to kill. Then Van Zandt tells men on his bikes to plant markers on the ground so Alex could get a 3D map of the land in her chopper. Then we get the most badass shot in this whole fucking movie, Myles. This low zoom-in shot of Van Zandt. He's got his little cigar in his mouth, and then he's like looking around at the horizon, and then you can see the helicopter taking off in the background. It's such a good fucking scene there. And then
I would say Matthew McConaughey is just like a walking still shot,
right? Yeah, every shot of him, every line is just fucking perfect from him in this.
Things he's doing, his smile, like he smiles inside of his mouth sometimes, and
he's so photogenic. God damn, man, every angle of his face, he doesn't have any bad angles. He could clearly he could rock any hairstyle. He could rock it baldy, he could rock the curly hair, he could do it all.
Rock that anorexic look in Dallas Buyers Club. God damn.
I don't know if he looks good with that ponytail though from what's that show, True Detective. That was a little weird. Maybe just ponytail.
Russ.
Yeah, ponytail without the mustache. Ponytail and mustache, not a good combo.
That's very pedophile.
Yeah, you're getting pedophile territory for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Drinking those Lone Stars.
Meanwhile, AJ is listening to all the radios from the castle. One transponder gets put up, and then the second. Then Van Zandt tells the Archangels to use themselves as bait to get the dragon above his head, and he'll take care of it from there. The Archangels jump, and Alex tells Van Zandt angels are flying, which is such a dope ass line. And then, goddamn it, Piscatella is the last guy who needs to get his transponder up, but he gets got by the dragon before he could drop it. And AJ tells Quinn he needs that last transponder up, or else Alex is flying blind. Quinn sets off on horseback to get that last transponder up. The angels are now flying. We see one man in the front as bait, and the other two behind them to snag the dragon with their nets, which is such a fucking...
There'd be a trail of shit coming out of me if I was the bait.
It's such a fucking cool scene. They just like how they set this all up. They're fucking flying behind the dragon. It's so cool, man. And they shoot the nets at him, but they don't get him. The lead man ends up hitting the ground, and then one other guy gets got by the dragon, and the other one lands safely.
We don't really ever hear from these guys again.
Yeah, the other guy who landed, it's like, who's gonna get that guy? He has no way to get back.
Oh, they just left him out there. They're like, oh, your team's dead, so fuck you.
I guess nobody's gonna go pick him up. Then Quinn gets on the radio with Van Zandt, and Van Zandt tells him he's going to be the bait and to bring that bitch right on top of me. He's got 600 pounds, 1,600 pounds of horse flesh, and to ride her right down my throat. His exact words, by the way, ride her right down my throat. I'm not sexualizing this at all. You know how I love to sexualize things, Myles. This is not one of those times. And he ends the conversation with, bring her to me, Quinn. Then Van Zandt tells a truck to line up 20 yards south by southwest, which is a film festival held in McConaughey's hometown of Austin, Texas. And then while Quinn is riding like hell back to the castle, Van Zandt mans a turret with a massive arrow on it pointing straight at a mountaintop. Quinn gets to the top, and Van Zandt fires the arrow right past his head, nailing the dragon right in the mouth. The dragon swoops in, breathing fire, and Van Zandt does this fucking dope ass. He like jumps off the truck and he does this superhero landing, and his fucking vest is on fire behind him. It's fucking awesome.
Dude, it was shit. Yeah, it was like not even a care.
Yeah, he didn't even care. Just as long as he got that dragon. And then, just this whole scene, hands down, was the best scene in the whole fucking movie. We got a look at how exactly they take these dragons down using modern technology with the 3D mapping and shit. We get to see Matthew McConaughey just be an absolute badass in this scene. Then the cherry on top of it at the end of this was seeing the dragon's body and seeing how this model looks was fucking amazing. That dragon looks so cool, man. Looked amazing. And then back at the castle, Quinn's people are drinking it up and partying. Van Zandt and his men arrive to applause and says, "Envy the country that has heroes, huh?" And everyone starts cheering, and then he says, "Say pity the country that needs them." And it goes silent and tells them 1 dragon down and 3 men dead is nothing to celebrate, and tells them, "Go ahead, have your little swan." Says, "Personally, you disgust me." Storms out. But goddamn, Matthew McConaughey's performance here and this little speech that he gives to all these people is probably the best acting we'll see in this whole movie from him. He's almost got tears in his eyes talking about his dead man and how just fucking 1 dragon out of like 2 million is not gonna do anything. So go ahead and fucking celebrate, you assholes. I'm gonna go bury my men outside. And then outside of the graveyard, Van Zandt is burning the bodies of its dead men and asks Quinn what he's doing here. Quinn takes offense and tells him, "You're standing on ground when I've buried hundreds, so I'm asking the questions here. What are you doing here?" Then Van Zandt takes out his fucking fat Kentucky Cobra out of his pants and says, "I lead, you follow." And then Van Zandt hands over the dog tags of his dead men over to Alex, whom he says is the keeper of the dead. And in a strange flip of the coin, Van Zandt just went from being an asshole to Quinn at the graveyard and being like, "Bro, I'm the fucking leader, okay? You lead, I lead, and you fucking follow me." And then now he's like, "Quinn, I need help." He says he needs resources and men. To which I say, like, who did the fucking editing of these scenes? Like, these scenes back to back don't make any sense for the Van Zandt character. And then
he's gonna be all tough and then be like, "But really though, I
yeah, exactly. Even as a kid, I was like, "Fuck you, Van Zandt. You just told me to fuck off like 2 minutes ago. Now you want my help?" And then Alex tells Quinn the dragon that they brought down. And every single dragon they've brought down so far have all been females. She tells them their theory that there is 1 male dragon who is fucking all them lady dragons out there. So if they kill the male, they kill off the species. But the catch is they have to go to London, which Quinn says, "Good luck."
You know what I thought about?
Yeah.
It's so this dragon is like 1 male, it's just fucking all these females.
Oh yeah, he's having the time of his life up there.
Fucking his daughters.
Oh yeah, highly incestuous.
And his granddaughters.
I mean, that's like a lion's pride, right? That's. I mean, if you watch Lion King, right? Because there's only one male lion in the pride. He's like the head honcho. And he's got all these chicks around him.
That's more like sister wives shit, you know?
So if you watch Lion King again, it's like, wait, Simba and Nala are pretty much cousins because they came from the same pride.
Wow. So the South?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're doing it. It's a little
South Africa.
Then Van Zandt. South African. It's like a popcorn. Like the popcorn. The Van Zandt tells Quinn he needs men, but Quinn tells him he knows something is there because another colony tried it. The dragon backtracked them to the colony and wiped them all out and tells Van Zandt no. Van Zandt gets in Quinn's face and tells him, "Look out the window. Eden's not burning, it's burnt." Then outside, Van Zandt is telling Quinn's people, "There's nothing special about them. They're made up of a collection of organs. They have a mind, a heart, and a liver. You take out one of these, you bring down the beast." And then starts taking people against their will in a draft. And then he tells them, "Fucking bury your own holes, asshole." And Quinn gets word of this and starts smoking the Van Zandt. He says, "I said no!" But Van Zandt is a fucking monster, and he takes off his vest. We see his fucking tattoos and how shredded he is and how tatted he is, and he just beats the shit out of Quinn. But shitty technique from Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if you've noticed. It looks like he's never fucking thrown a punch in his life. He's like winding up all the way out here, and he's just like he's in fucking Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, all right, man, like you don't have to wind up that much.
Maybe they can't fight because like it's worked for him so far. The whole Like, did they not teach you that in military?
All them fucking muscles, and you're fighting like this. They didn't have like a choreographer on set. He fights like shit.
You gotta do the.
Keep your hands doesn't even do that. He like, his hands are like down here, and he's just like.
Well, he did walk out of the tank like this, dude. You know, he probably got what's his face? Christian Bale probably got PTSD when Bane did that shit to him.
Oh yeah, he said like this. To fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny. And the fight's breaking up, and Van Zandt leaves with his crew, and he just goes into Quinn's face, and he says, "To London." And then on the road, Van Zandt and his crew get attacked by a dragon, the male dragon, in the darkness, and everything is destroyed except for Van Zandt and Alex, and like 2 other guys, which are fucking just useless for the rest of this movie. The dragon backtracks to the castle and sets the place ablaze. Quinn, Creedy, and the kids. Yeah. Whatever.
I'll say just blaze.
Just blaze. Then Quinn, Creedy, and the kids hide away underground. Then for some reason, Creedy gets a fucking fire extinguisher, like a little ass one. He says, "I'm gonna go put out the fires. I don't know what this is gonna do, but maybe it'll help." And he goes outside the door, and he gets got by the dragon. And then the next morning, Van Zandt and Alex are back at the castle and tell Quinn that he was right about everything. And then Van Zandt salvages what he could from the armory, including a crossbow and arrows with explosive tips. And then Quinn takes charge and says, "Me, you, and Alex take the chopper to the coast and head to the heart of London to catch him at magic hour." Magic hour. That's what he says, magic hour. And then they arrive at magic hour. They arrive at a burned down London, and Quinn tells them he knows the tunnel system and how to get close without being seen. And Van Zandt tells Quinn, "You lead, we follow." Then underground, they come up with a game plan, bring the dragon to the ground, and fire the explosive tip into his mouth right before he blows out his fire. We get a scene here that I've always thought was funny, even as a kid. Christian Bale taking a swig out of that flask, and he immediately spits it out. He's like, "This is water." And then Matthew McConaughey is just like, "Yeah, just keep it." Just being like nonchalant, just say, "Fuck it, just keep it, dude." Then Van Zandt says,
I forgot about that.
"It's water. It's water." Then Van Zandt says they need to split up and wait until the perfect time to fire. And then Van Zandt makes his way up a tower, takes his shirt off for some reason. I don't know why. Then he uses Alex as bait to get the dragon close. He fires an arrow but mistimes it, so he just says, "Fuck it." Grabs his fucking...
He doesn't bring another shot with him.
He grabs his fucking Stormbreaker axe, and he jumps at the fucking dragon, killing himself, which is... It was the most badass way to go out. He just flies through the air like... Ah!
I mean, it's more badass than just standing there getting
absolutely
burned, you know?
Right? I mean, you gotta figure, you shoot the dragon, he's coming after you. You're not gonna be able to crawl down that ladder. What are you gonna do?
And you're gonna jump off that water tower? No, exactly. You're gonna die either way.
You gotta go out like a fucking man. And again,
I would have just went straight for the throat, just like try to go for that uvula, you know.
The shitty thing is, he doesn't even get like a thing on him, and he grabs him immediately. So I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But
you see his legs and arms flail.
Yeah, he gets eaten up. And again, seeing that scene in the trailer was so goddamn hype. When I first saw that, I was like, "Oh fuck, I need to watch that." That might be
Shrek like vibes.
Yeah, that might be one of like the first trailers I remember watching from my early life. There, 9 years old. And eventually Quinn gets the dragon on the ground, shoots the dragon at the perfect time with his explosive tip to the back of his throat, and kills the dragon. Explodes all over his uvula. Then it kills the dragon. And this whole ending goes by really quick here, and we cut to sometime in the future in a place that looks like the fucking cover of the goddamn Sound of Music.
3 months later.
3 months later, okay, and then Quinn and Alex.
We haven't seen one in 3 fucking months.
That's right, yeah. And then Quinn and Alex.
3 bloody months.
Quinn and Alex are definitely hooking up, assuming doing sex hard. You know what I'm saying? And the female dragons are slowly dying off as time passes, and they're building some kind of radio tower or something, and they start hearing voices over the radio of other civilizations. And that's the end of the movie, Miles. There's hardly any fat on it, baby. I cut out very little of that, so...
Yeah, I know. You got pretty in-depth without really... Like,
I just wanted to talk about the action scenes, really. That's the main... That's our entree, was the action scenes. And dragons are just the dessert, baby. You know what I'm saying?
What's for dessert, baby?
Myles, where would you actually rank this? I've had a hard time thinking about this in terms of our monster movies that we've been reviewing all month.
Yeah. So
I've had a very hard time thinking about this. So yeah, number 1 is The Mummy. Number 2 is Van Helsing. I think you said this one was better than Mummy Returns, or you said Pacific Rim was better than Mummy Returns. Sorry, The Mummy Returns is in last place. I don't know if Reign of Fire is better than any of these movies, to be honest, even though I love it so much.
No, it's not.
It's hard.
Because I've only seen it one time. All the other movies I've seen multiple times. Yeah. But I've seen multiple times for a reason. Exactly. I'm content with watching Reign of Fire, and I don't feel like I could go out and watch it again as much as I want to watch Van Helsing again, or I want to watch The Mummy again. And so for me, replayability is a big factor. And so I'm going to put this at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I agree. I put it in last place. Very sad about that. But again, I mean, I've seen this movie
but couple of times. It made it to the podcast.
Absolutely. It's still a fucking banger. Matthew McConaughey, bald, shredded. God, with a beard? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. But Myles, what were your final thoughts of this movie?
Well, final thoughts before I get. Actually, I'm gonna get some trivia here.
Oh yeah, please.
It's a great action movie, sci-fi action movie. Like really, for its time too. I think it was. I don't know. I think in any time, honestly, it just probably would have got lost in the weeds.
Yeah. I think it was ahead of its time, though, because these actors were nothing, so nobody really
that's true, but
talked about them.
Yeah, that's true. Actors aside, the plot was skinny.
Yeah.
Didn't need much. We didn't need much. I'm glad they didn't put much in there, but the set design, I don't know, it's really kind of like a picky thing.
They don't really go to a lot of places.
Diversity or variety. It's all burnt, dark shit. There's no color. They're either in a mine or they're in some burnt up outside.
Yeah, because that's interesting to think about. Because we've seen whenever we do see apocalyptic movies, it's either like a zombie apocalypse, right? So things are pretty much intact. There's just no people around, or it's like a nuclear fallout where the things are still intact. It's just just no people around again. But the fire, that just destroys everything. So there's nothing around. Yeah,
there's literally nothing. It's just everything's leveled, and it was filmed. I'll get to it in one of these, but it was filmed in Scotland, I believe. Or Ireland actually. It's called in the Wicklow Mountains. They were only allowed to film there under the condition that they clean up entirely after themselves without damaging the landscape. So, I mean, it was simple.
Yeah.
It wasn't much to it. So it makes you focus on other aspects, which it was kind of lacking, story, CG. I would have liked to see more detailed dragons, but I get it for the time. The time, I think we're spoiled with what we got now. So.
And dragons definitely were not a big deal back then. I mean, dragons in general just don't really make it to the top of the list for box office movies. They got like How to Train Your Dragon. That's it. That there was
and that's animated. Yeah.
There was that movie Aragon, the Dragon. That was a huge flop. It's just there's no dragon movies out there to compare this to. So, but yeah, I love this movie. I'm absolutely in the minority on that take, and I think that's fine. But it's purely nostalgia for me. It's got a special place in my heart. It's one of the earliest movies I remember seeing in the movie theater, especially with my dad. So it's a good memory. But it has great characters, which I wish they had more of them. I wish we had more short and sweet, but it's straight to the point and very fat. But I just wish we had more backstory on these characters. Like I would like to see more of like Van Zandt's past, like maybe some flashbacks of him fighting the dragons from the past, and how he got into the military, how he got there and stuff. But that's what you get with such a skinny movie with no fat on it. I would just like to see more of those characters. And it's short and sweet, straight to the point, very low fat, and just movies aren't like that anymore. You gotta have multiple planes of action in movies nowadays.
You gotta try to engage more diverse audiences.
You gotta keep people engaged with more action scenes. So I could see why people don't like this movie, but I think it was just a little ahead of its time.
Yeah, true. Wise words. Thank you for introducing me to this movie.
Yeah, man. I mean, I knew you would like it just for Matthew McConaughey alone. I knew you would fucking love it because of him.
Dude, and Christian Bale is
he's great too. Yeah,
it's great. Gerard Butler is a little. I didn't know he was in it.
I know. Yeah, this is
very
the first time I ever seen him, and it's just crazy now how their careers have they're in the fucking every top movie of the fucking year. All three of these guys. So it's crazy how. The longevity of their careers, and imagine if they did this movie today with the stardom that they have. Oh my fucking god, dude! That's why I'm saying it's so ahead of its time.
Triple, you know. Yeah. So
This would be an automatic Hollywood blockbuster. You know, it's way ahead of its time if they did that today.
Especially if three dudes of this caliber are signing on for such a outlandish like sci-fi movie that involves dragons. You're like, all right. Something must be going on here.
Yeah, imagine if they got a better writer. What if they got a better director where they could flesh this whole thing out into a whole like apocalyptic world? If they would have made the movie longer, if the CG would have been way better, you know, today with today's technology, man, it would have been it would have been devastation in the box office. Let me tell you,
it would have killed. It would have murdered.
Did you have other trivia facts?
I did. I do.
What do we got?
All right, so Christian Bale. You're gonna like this one. Christian Bale originally planned to be really skinny and scrawny for the film, because as we know, Christian Bale is a very physical actor. He can conform to any size,
he's a chameleon,
and shape
man.
that you need him to be.
Insane.
He can.
He's like
American
Ditto.
Hustle. He was fat and he was great.
He's the Ditto of actors.
There you go. Yeah. Machinist. He was the skinniest thing.
Dude, I think he ate like an apple and a can of tuna a day. Just the discipline to do that.
Dude, it's insane. This discipline here is a little testament to that. Christian Bale originally planned to be really skinny and scrawny for the film, figuring that in a post-apocalyptic landscape, food wouldn't be so readily available, so most people would lose drastic amounts of weight. Which is, which makes sense. But when he showed up for the filming and saw how bulked up Matthew McConaughey had become, he had to change his mind and hit the gym. Considering the two have an intensive fight scene in the film, Bale reckoned it would look more evenly matched and therefore more realistic if the two men were of similar build.
That's true. Yeah, we didn't even talk about Christian Bale. First time we see him in this movie, he's fucking jacked. He is. He's got that pickaxe. He's going to town on this wall, and you can see his abs and everything. I'm like, whoa, he's fucking shredded, man. But yeah, that wasn't the first time we've seen his body though. In American Psycho, shredded too, man.
He was like lean,
super lean in that too. Yeah, he was in great shape. You see him doing those the bicycle kick sit up things,
dude, with the knee head to his knee. Those hurt.
And he's like
so
grunting,
he's beating himself up, basically, like he's beating his body up.
And he's like banging the chick, and he's fucking looking in the. He's just like,
I love it.
One of the best gifts, and he's like pointing at himself in the mirror, and he's like,
he's got this hair. He slicked his hair back.
He's like, yeah.
Well, don't just stare at it.
Your compliment was sufficient enough, Lewis.
Whoa. Okay, we got it. Oh, we can't. Oh, have we? We didn't do that movie yet, right?
No, we got to though. That would be amazing.
I'm telling you, Christian Bale, like whole.
I'll let you take the lead on that one. I know you've watched that movie more than I have, so that would be good.
I love that movie so goddamn much. I will watch that movie all the time. Anyways, I already said this Ireland one, which looks very like, European landscape, like dreary kind of.
It's kind of like Game of Thrones-ish.
Yeah. In an interview with, this one's kind of long, with AV Club in 2015, Alexander Siddig, or AJ, said, "The only thing I remember about that was the first day. The first AD came into the trailer where we were all having our makeup and shit done. And he was like, 'Guys, I need your attention, please.' And we were like, 'Yeah.' And he said, 'Mr. McConaughey is going to arrive on set in about 15 minutes, and I have to give you a directive, which comes from the producers, that you are not to call him Matthew or Mr. McConaughey or anything to do with his real name. You must call him Van Zandt.' Van Zandt was his character name. And even if you meet him outside in the road, even if you meet him out in town in Dublin, where we're shooting this movie, you must call him Van Zandt." That is exactly what I remember about that movie, because so weird. As that first AD left the building, I shouted rather lamely, and he's got to call me Elvis. But he didn't call me Elvis. In fact, he didn't call me anything.
Because he's like, who the fuck are you? They had 0 scenes together, so they probably didn't even fucking talk to each other.
Dude, and this makes me want to say, like, if I ever see Matthew McConaughey in real life, I'm just going to call him Van Zandt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Van Zandt.
He's gonna be like, "What the fuck? You watched that movie? Nobody watched that movie."
I just wanted to turn around and just be like,
"Oh my god!" Imagine he did that. He just fucking.
I'd faint. You know. So that's great, Van Zandt. I love Van. Oh, god.
I like the way Christian Bale says it too. Van Zandt. Van Zandt.
Is that This is Christian Bale's accent.
Yeah, this is his natural accent. Yeah, it's such a dirty Cockney accent, dude. It's nasty.
Yeah, it's dirty. It's dirty. The preview claims that the film is set in 2084, yet the movie itself gives the date as sometime in the 2020s. So.
Oh, perfect. 2020. Yeah. Wow, we nailed it.
Perfect.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's what could have been if, actually that was 2020. In a nutshell.
Dude, oh my god, man. That would have fucking came out today. Oh. God damn it. Could have been, man.
Jack Gleason. You know who Jack Gleason
is? That's Joffrey. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He plays an uncredited role as a member of the audience watching Christian Bale's Star Wars act.
He's one of the kids who was like, and then Creedy's like, I'm good. I got the hand.
They would also share a scene years later in Batman Begins.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh my god. That's when he's like, the other kids won't believe me. And he tosses them the fucking thing. I'm like, great, Batman. What the hell is he going to do with this? That's like a fucking $1 million tool you just gave him. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Holy shit. Oh, ooh. And the guy who plays AJ, the guy on the radio, that guy was also in Game of Thrones.
Really? No way. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, he was from Dorne. You remember he had the sister?
Oh my god, that's right,
he had the sister in Dorne. Yeah. Holy shit.
Kingdom of Heaven too.
Dude, shout out to King of Heaven. That's a good movie.
Oh. Holy shit. Oh, he's been in a lot of stuff. I'm looking his shit up right now. He's in Peaky Blinders.
Oh.
Okay. All right, I got interesting.
Wow,
he has nice eyes though. I like his eyes, man.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see. I got one more here.
Give it to me.
I lied. I don't have any more.
That's it.
None of them are good.
All right.
They're all trash.
So next week will be our last week of Monster Month, and then the week after that we are actually taking a break for Thanksgiving. But next week we are doing Godzilla 1999. Myles, did we decide on that?
Yeah,
1999 with Matthew Broderick. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't seen that in years. I remember you were watching it at the apartment once, but I don't think I watched it all with you. But yeah, it's one of those I had on VHS back in the day, and I haven't seen that in so long. But I'm very excited.
Dude, this is one of the, because you remember a lot of the movies that you watch in theaters.
Yeah,
or a fair share amount of them. I don't remember any of these, dude. This one I distinctly remember.
Oh, that's good. So you're gonna be taking the helm next week anyway, so that's gonna be good because I don't remember shit. I just remember watching this. I just remember Matthew Broderick singing in the rain, and he's got the worms.
He's got the worms with the electricity flowing in the ground.
Literally the only. Oh no, and then the Gojira.
Oh yeah,
Gojira. I remember that
Rico
too.
Time machine thing that he sticks in the ground. Oh yeah, that's right. The fire.
Gojira. Oh man, yeah. So next week will be our final movie for Monster Month, doing Godzilla 1999. Don't watch the other one. Don't watch the Bryan Cranston one. As good as it is, we are doing a classic 1999 one. So I guess that is it for this week's episode. Myles, do you have anything to say?
No. I mean,
give us the plug. Sorry, plug it up. Plug me.
Sort of interesting. That's on our OnlyFans, by the way. So you got sortainteresting.com. That's where you can find this podcast and our catalog of the podcasts from the past. You have at sortainteresting.com. It links you to all sorts of different areas. Most notably, Patreon. Patreon.com/sortainteresting. Please.
That's going to be your face if you don't.
So, if you don't, you get it. If you do,
your uvula, my dick.
That sounds like a good time. So let's not. So, what do you do that? The Matrix. Okay, so what have we learned here? If you want this, donate. If you want this, don't donate. So either way, go to jail, straight to jail. Yeah, Patreon.com. Just help us out. I mean, that
go right to jail.
Right to jail. That
you undercooked chicken.
Undercooked, overcooked, jail.
Believe it or not, you undercooked chicken. Oh no, you overcooked chicken. Jail. Right away, jail.
Right away.
Right away, jail.
Dude, that's one of his best.
It's so fucking good. Oh,
it's not even in one of his Portlandia shits either. Like, it's so good though. Okay, God, we gotta
just both ways. This is why we need overcook, undercook.
We just need another podcast so we can just go off on tangents about this shit. You can do that. You can be that person. I'm looking at you, whoever you are. Insert name here.
Oh man,
just go to our Patreon. Just check it out. Just read the bio, or just take our word for it. All right, $1. That's all it takes. The iOS podcast app. You got Spotify. You got Google Play Store. You got SoundCloud. That's where all our podcasts are available. You could also hit us up on Twitter. You can hit us up on Instagram. You gotta know Christian Patam, Myles Darling.
YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. We need 100 subscribers to get a URL for YouTube. So, but if you're on YouTube, just go ahead and search Sorta Interesting. All of our podcasts will pop up there. So, I guess that is it for today. Go ahead and have an interesting day, everyone.